Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you are subscribed to my other channels, Answers by Queen Spirit and Queen Spirit 1126. Alright, so today we are doing a past life reading for our life path 22s. If you have a life path 11, make sure you check out that reading as well. Alright, so the question today is, how did you even get that life path number? What happened in the past life to get you to this life path 22? Alright, so we're going to start with two cards from our index, my index, center of attention, and then we have overplayed hand. Alright, so that definitely gives me the vibe of you thought you meant more to somebody than you actually did. Overplayed your hand. This is a very, overplaying your hand is a very immature energy. It's almost like not being able to read a room, right? So this definitely feels like a situation where you were used to getting everything you wanted. You were used to everybody serving you. And so in turn, what ended up happening is that people kind of gave up on you or something like that. All right. So one thing about a life path 2, life path 2 is a lover. The number 2 is a number about connection. It's about union. It's about our ability to have relationships with different people and different things. And this is something that you enjoy in this life. Sometimes life path 2s can be in this energy, especially if you're an 11, of wanting everybody to just get along, wanting everybody to just be of love. Like, can we all just get along? Can't we all just be friends, or whatever the case may be? Now, as you get older and you mature, of course, you know that that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. But before you get into that spiritual maturity, you definitely have this vibe in your mind that everybody should be kind of working together, which is ironic because you spent the past life not giving a fuck about people working with you, and just basically wanting them to do what you say. So we're going to go ahead and get into this reading. Let's see what's going on. Let's go ahead and clarify this center of attention. Clarify center of attention, Spirit. Clarify center of attention. Okay, so we got something was cut off, something was removed. Ooh, I just saw the storm. I'm gonna keep going. And then we have mature man. All right, and at the bottom we have marriage. I'm gonna go ahead and take that. So a couple things. First, I was seeing the number 15, which is the number of the devil, attachments and addictions and things like that. So I do get this vibe that you were attached to being the center of attention. 18 is the number of the moon. So it could have been a darkness that you didn't actually see, something that was hidden, nightmares, dreams about some kind of union here. So what I'm getting with these actual cards, letting go, well, first, before we get into that, 10 is a number that addresses cycles, right? The ending of a cycle and fast forward into this new cycle, this push into this new cycle. A lot of times we can have trouble getting into that new cycle. I do get that there were some people that you had to cut off. There were some misunderstandings that you had to go through in order to get to this union. And I'm feeling a very selfish energy here. Like when it came to this union, you were the only one that mattered. So if other people didn't agree with it, or even if the person that you were coming into union with, now this could have been a marriage, it could have been a job, a family, hell, it could have even been some criminal activity, I don't know. But what I do get is that you didn't consider other people's feelings, right? And I get that you cut off somebody that meant a lot to you, which is why relationships and union and being so connected to people you care about in this life is so important to you, because you put something first. And this, honestly, it feels like there was some kind of loss of family while trying to connect to a new family. So it may be an energy of you were with someone that your family didn't approve of, so you cut your family off. Definitely a very abusive type of relationship. Nobody that loves you is gonna ask you to cut your family off. I promise you. Even if your family is mistreating you, right? The person that you love is gonna be like, listen, you need to build up some boundaries, right? You can't let somebody treat you like this, but they're never going to tell you, hey, you should never talk to this person again, because people who love you, they aren't going to try to dictate who you can and cannot communicate with. And so that's the energy that I get here, is that you were being manipulated. You were the center of attention to this person until they had you all to yourself. All right, so let's keep going. Clarify spirit, center of attention. Oh, damn. And the devil came out. I'm telling y'all, I could have predicted it. My spidey senses, okay? So, what I get right now is that there was a release, kind of, right? So the devil being in reverse is a good thing. It's a good card. It's breaking those chains. It's releasing those chains, right? But then on the first end of that, we have the temperance card, which is in reverse, which is causing imbalance. It's kind of stillness in what you want to do. Being scared to move forward, being scared to take a chance, right? So I'm getting that love was introduced to you, and that it was something was in balance. Love was being introduced to you, and then there were some broken chains. That's what I feel. All right. So the devil up here could have definitely been like this, breaking chains with some kind of family or with some kind of love, breaking chains with somebody who you felt like was supposed to care about you, but they didn't do it the right way. So there was a separation, and then there's this idea of being around or being with somebody who kind of tried to keep you attached to them, right? One thing about being the center of attention, if you're the center of someone else's world, then that means that they are obsessed with you, right? As I always tell you guys, you have to make sure that you're putting yourself first. That is always the most important thing. You are. Because if you are not taken care of, then you can't take care of anybody else. Of course, there are always extremes, but we know self-care is the best care. And that's just that. So I do get that there was some kind of imbalance and some kind of change that needed to be broken. And I do get that you guys ended up alone. So when you are in a toxic relationship, a lot of people don't understand that you are in that, right? They only understand the way that you treat them. And in that understanding, there's a lot of misunderstanding because they don't know who you are, and you're not being 100% open and honest because there's somebody else in the background pressuring you and trying to control you. So you missed out on the love of, and this isn't a romantic love, you missed out on the love of family for a romantic love, but really they just wanted to control you. So this one more time. Clarify center of attention, spirit. Okay. I don't know why the word egotistical is coming out. I just get a really, really controlling type of situation. And this could have been you. You could have been the type to be controlling. But I don't feel that for most of you guys because of the way that you ended up here, although it could be that, right? It could be that you were so trying to control relationships in your past life that you are stuck in this situation where you kind of just love everybody and you want to nurture every single relationship that comes across your path. You want people to love you. You need people to love you. You need people to care about you. And this past life, it was almost to a controlling sense, okay? So I'm going to say this, and we're going to move on to overplayed hand. When you are in any type of relationship, right, there are two love languages being spoken. There is your own love language, and then there's the love language of the person that you're dealing with. Both need to be taken into account. Both need to be realized and recognized. You can't just be like, oh, well, I need this in order to be loved, and ignore whatever this other person's needs are. And that's what I get, that you lived a very, very selfish life, okay? Some of you guys could have chosen money over your family. You could have chosen money over love, but it ended up being a snake type situation. And you did move on from it. Let me just say that. You did move on from it. Whatever mistake you made then, you corrected the mistake, but it was too late for the people who cared about it. So let's clarify overplayed hand. Damn, that snake is back out. I saw it while I was shuffling. Overplayed hand. Get one more. So we got a 27. Ooh. Which comes to a 9, and then we got 29 out. We also got 27 on the bottom here. So that number seems significant, okay? So as I said, 2 is the number of union, right? 7 is the number of this, basically your analytics, like being analytical, trying to figure shit out and see where it goes. And we have this 2 and 9 here, which does equal 2, but more than that equals 11. So we got 2 showing up a few times here, and then the number 7 with the number 9. So I'm gonna say 9, overplayed hand. I feel like there really wasn't an expectation for things to end the way they did. I'm also getting like this. She looks surprised, right? She could be standing in this house like, oh, I built up all these things, and finding out that this person is a snake. Finding out that the income that you expected wasn't what you expected, right? It's kind of like, okay, you got this new job and then they fire you over something that's just bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But you thought that you would be at that job at least for a year or 6 months or something like that. So it's kind of like, I'm feeling like the ending of something that you didn't expect to end, and it was because somebody was a snake. I do feel like somebody manipulated you and lied to you to get you into some kind of relationship, right? Because I feel like you put your love for this person first, and that kind of made you put your love for everybody else behind you and start to build these things with you, start to build these things with this person, but they were a snake. So they were working behind your back to ruin you, to take things from you, to separate you from family and the people that you love. Okay, so we got the 3 of Swords in reverse here. That just flipped out. We got the Moon in reverse here. Okay, so both of the cards that I mentioned in the beginning came out in reverse. So I feel like there is some healing, right? The Moon 18 comes to a 9. So there's an ending here. An ending, something that I really feel like it was this ending with this snake, right? We talk about 7 being an analytical power. You were able to analyze this relationship and kind of let it go and heal from it, even though you suffered a lot of losses, right, from putting this relationship first. And I kind of feel like that's what you're working on in this life, is to learn how to put yourself first, analyze the relationships you have, keep the ones you need, and don't be pressured by outsiders on how or what relationships you should keep, right? We go through so much every day, all the time, you know, with our family, our coworkers, trying to achieve our dreams, even on social media. You have to make sure at every step of the way you're doing what's best for you, not just listening to what outsiders have to say, their opinion. Oh yeah, well, I learned this, da 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 da. But what you learned and what you do doesn't apply to just everybody, right? So I'm looking at the Chariot right now, which is 7, and the Chariot speaks to this balance, right? The Chariot is all about your willpower to overcome. But in order to have the willpower, you have to have the balance in your life. You have to have that balance of good and bad, masculine and feminine, hell, the everything. You just have to have that balance between what you want and what the world is able to provide type thing. So I feel like you were dealing with somebody who overplayed their hand, right? I feel like you kind of overplayed your hand, and this is so funny because we have a hand over another hand, but I do feel like you overplayed your hand with your family, thinking that they would always be there even after you mistreated them. But more than anything, there was somebody in your life that overplayed their hand, that ruined a relationship with you and ruined your relationship with other people. And they thought that this would make you stick to them and stay with them. But in turn, you walked away from them, right? There's a lot of clarity here. There's a lot of healing that's been done here. The number 3 is significant. The number 3 can also refer to relationships, communication within relationships, and communicating. What I get is your pain and those things that you missed. All right, what else? Overplayed hand. Let me take this one. Okay, because somebody thought that they had you wherever they wanted you. This is this idea of, oh, I thought we had forever. Like whoever it was that fucked you over, they really, really thought that you would never go anywhere and you had to leave them alone, which kind of made you start out on this journey all your own. Made you start over alone, okay? And this is something that you didn't like. As human beings, we like to be around each other. We're very social creatures. Not to say there aren't people out there who do like to be alone. I have met some, honey. I personally do like to be alone, but I like to have my mate with me. You know, I like to have my family with me. But this is this honestly, it changed your ideas about relationships, I guess is what I should say. Holding on to those relationships, communicating with people. But I do get that this unexpected income got you out of debt. So even though it didn't work out exactly the way you wanted it, I'm really feeling like you chose money over love, and something about being with somebody, right, release some kind of financial chains that you had over you. All right. So I also get that whatever this situation is, it was also the perpetuation of some generational curses as well. So let's go ahead and get you some advice for this life, and then we're going to let you go. We got 2 that came out. Trust the universe, intuition, and downloads. Okay. So Spirit is like, you guys have a phenomenal gut instinct, right? You are empaths, right? 2 is the number of an empath, and that's just period. You feel other people's love, you feel other people's intuition, and Spirit wants you to recognize that and go with it. Oh. All right, we have 3 cards here. So I'm getting right now that when you encounter people who want to stop you or who provide bad news or who want to lie, make sure that you guys are taking a step back to really analyze everything that's going on. Just because you care about somebody doesn't mean that they're going to tell you the truth all the time. And it doesn't mean even if they are telling you the truth that you should listen to them, because all of our truths are biased. They are based off our experience, our expression, and things like that. So make sure that you are taking everything into account, because you are an empath, because you love so hard and you love so much, you have people that are going to want to manipulate you and bring you kind of like this negative energy so that you can do what they want you to do. All right. So remember that you are not allowed to live your life in fear. That is ego, and it will also bring you a lot of negative karma, right? And that's something that you are trying to break away from, because what I get is in this past life, you had a fear of being broke, you had a fear of being poor, and you had a fear of being alone, all of which you had experienced in that past life because you were so afraid of it. So make sure that you guys are living in your truth, okay? And that's all I have for this reading. Like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys next time.